We are born as human beings and then spend our entire lives learning how to be human, how to survive, how to connect with others, how to understand our inner world and navigate the outer one. We learn how to win, how to love, how to grow. But strangely, we never learn how to say goodbye. Not really, not decently, not with peace. So today, I want to share my personal thoughts on death and on how we might prepare to face it, not in fear, but with understanding and grace. Before diving into philosophy, let me begin with a few memories, intimate moments when I found myself face to face with the reality of death. The first fear. I was only 6 years old when I first felt the icy breath of mortality. I don't recall what sparked the thought, maybe a scary story, maybe a quiet moment before sleep, but I remember curling up on the bed, trembling, eyes filled with tears. I turned to my younger brother and asked in a shaky voice, "Are you afraid of death? Have you ever thought that one day our parents will die?" I don't remember his answer. Maybe he had already fallen asleep, but I lay awake the entire night, haunted by a question far too big for a child's heart. That night etched a scar of existential fear deep into my memory that would stay with me for years. My great-grandfather's final glance. Most people don't remember their great-grandparents. By the time we're old enough to remember, they're often already gone. But I do remember mine. My great-grandfather had once been a soldier, strong, proud, full of life. Every time I visited, he would say with a smile, "I heard you're doing well in school." I'd nod, a little shy but secretly proud. But the last time I saw him, everything had changed. He lay in bed, frail and hunched, his skin stretched thin over bones. His mouth moved as if trying to speak, but no sound came. His hand reached toward the edge of the bed, grasping at air. His eyes, once sharp, stared blankly at the ceiling. When they finally turned to me, there was a flicker. Was it recognition? Or fear? I don't think he knew who I was anymore. Not long after that visit, the news came. He had passed away. That was the first time I had ever seen someone truly on the verge of death. The emergency room and the price of a life. Yet, that wasn't the most haunting experience. The most unforgettable moment came in an emergency room. A pale, middle-aged man rushed in, desperate. He needed a blood transfusion but had only 500 yuan. Not enough for the mandatory tests, not enough for anything. He pleaded with the doctor to lower the cost, to help him live. The doctor couldn't break the rules, but he did call the hospital's help center. Whether the man got the blood he needed, I never found out, but I couldn't stop thinking about him. What had led him to that point? Was he a failed businessman? Was he once someone with a good life, now reduced to begging for blood? That day, I asked myself, how much is a human life worth? Is it the number in your bank account? Is survival a luxury only for those who can afford it? It was the coldest, most painful truth I'd ever realized. Sometimes, we see the train of death coming toward us, and even if the door is open, we can't afford the ticket to escape. So, what is death? Is it merely the retirement of an old and tired body, making space for new life? Is it like a train station passengers get off, new ones come aboard? Is it the withering of a flower after full bloom, only to make room for another? In the presence of death, even the greatest sorrows seem to fade. The heartbreaks, the failures, the things we once thought we could never survive, they shrink, disappear. Steve Jobs once said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." We come into this world empty-handed, and we leave it the same way. So perhaps life is not about possessing, but about experiencing. About feeling, loving, connecting, and letting go. Yet, when our loved ones disappear from our lives forever, we fall apart. No one teaches us how to say goodbye, how to do it decently. Learning to face death. Death is one of the only certainties in life. Still, most people avoid the topic entirely. We fear its finality, the pain, the unknown. But avoiding death doesn't make it go away. Facing it, on the other hand, can bring peace and purpose. First, facing death begins with acknowledgement. Only when we accept that life is finite can we start to truly appreciate the moments we're given. We begin to value connection over competition, presence over productivity. Second, we must communicate about death with our loved ones, openly and honestly. That means talking about our wishes, writing them down, planning for how we want to go. These conversations can feel uncomfortable, but they prevent confusion and heartbreak later. Third, we need to live in alignment with our values, so that when our time comes, we're not filled with regret. When asked near the end of life, most people don't regret failing to earn more, but they often regret failing to say, "I love you," or spending too little time with the people who mattered most. Dying with dignity. Culturally, we must stop treating death like a failure. Just as we celebrate birth, we should honor death with humanity and dignity. Taiwanese writer Chiang Yao once expressed her wish to die peacefully, without unnecessary medical intervention. Her bravery in speaking out about this helped many people rethink what it means to say goodbye with dignity. Because how we die is just as important as how we live. Final thoughts. To face death well is not to fear it, but to prepare for it in love. It is to live each day with presence and truth. Death is not the opposite of life. It is the mirror that makes every moment clearer, more precious, more real. Let's not wait for tragedy to ask ourselves these questions. Let's talk about death. Let's prepare for it. And through that, let's learn to live fully, fearlessly, and with open hearts.